Welcome to Watch Mojo, and today we're counting down our picks for the top 10 pop punk bands of the 2000s. For this list, we'll be looking at the musical acts that were formed, rose to fame, or helped define the genre between 2000 and 2009. So bands that were well established in the 90s like Green Day and Weezer won't be included here. Did we remember your favorite pop punk band? Let us know in the comments. Number 10, Alkaline Trio. Hailing from Chicago, one of the underappreciated pop punk bands of the 2000s was Alkaline Trio. Combining a myriad of influences, the band's heavier riffs and darker lyrical content weren't as welcome in a pop-focused era. Alkaline Trio really got their first significant push from their third album, From Here to Infirmary. With that release receiving some Billboard chart attention, Alkaline Trio's next 3 releases gave them steady commercial and critical reception. The true extent to the band's influence extended beyond the decade, starting 2010 with their most successful album to date. Not only that, singer Matt Skiba kept his pop-punk cred going as the newest member of Blink-182 starting in 2015. Number 9, All Time Low. With their signature bangs and highlights, All Time Low arrived at the tail end of a fruitful decade for pop punk. Influenced by the likes of Blink-182 and New Found Glory, the band capitalized on the genre's well-laid foundation in the late 2000s. It's not my weekend, but it's gonna be my year. Their defining hit, Dear Maria, Count Me In, displayed their many punk and alternative influences and is still popular today. I got your picture, I'm coming with you, Dear Maria, count me in. For a brief moment at the end of the 2000s, the band captured fans at the Warped Tour and beyond. Meet me on Dave Street. I'll take you out the wild, hardly worth your time. In recent years, the band members received allegations against them that call into question their legacy. While All Time Low keeps touring and releasing music, their reputation took a substantial hit in the last few years. Number 8, Good Charlotte. After a modest debut in 2000, this pop-punk band struck a chord with their next several releases. Their second LP, The Young and the Hopeless, provided them with the foundation for a prosperous career. Not only did they go triple platinum, but they also showcased their relatable messaging and upbeat punk flourishes. I don't ever wanna be you. Don't wanna be just like you. Their aptly titled track, The Anthem, shot them to the top of pop-punk royalty and later received gold certification. This is the anthem for all your hands up, you. In their third album, The Chronicles of Life and Death, the band went platinum with another bundle of supercharged hits. I just wanna live. Don't really care about the things that they say. Sustaining their popularity into the next decade, Good Charlotte dished out something for both pop-punk purists and rainy day fans. Number 7, Panic at the Disco. Upon the release of their triple platinum debut, A Fever You Can't Sweat Out, Panic at the Disco rewrote the pop-punk handbook. Oh, well imagine, as I'm pacing the pews in a church corridor. Singer Brendan Urie's impeccable range and versatility flies in the face of the stereotypical frontman. I chime in with a haven't you people ever heard of closing a damn door. Famous for their lengthy titles and elaborate songs, the band's singles vary in tone from the appeal of pop to the edginess of emo. Among their greatest tracks, I Write Sins Not Tragedies stands as an iconic song and video for its decade. Closing out the decade with their hit 9 in the Afternoon, the group shed much of their gothic elements for a Beatles-inspired sound. We're feeling so good, just the way that we do when it's 9 in the afternoon. No matter the style, Panic at the Disco's theatrical flair set them apart from the pop-punk pack.
If you love me, let me go.
Number 6. Jimmy Eat World. Heavily influenced by emo, Jimmy Eat World's Bleed American album spoke to an entire generation of pop-punk listeners.
Hey, don't write yourself off yet.
With their fourth record giving them mainstream success, the Arizona band stretched the limits of the previously narrow genre. The ubiquitous and catchy hit The Middle became an anthem for fans that brought a hopeful message in a very divided time.
It just takes some time, little girl, in the middle of the ride.
After the success of their follow-up album Futures, the band released a Billboard 200 album that reached number 5 on the charts. Their 2007 Chase the Light record moved the group's sound into more of a power pop direction.
All steps with poise, with grace, when they draw my name from the lottery.
Regardless of Jimmy Eat World's place in the genre, there's no denying the power and fury of the band's initial output. Number 5. Sum 41. Pop punk wasn't just an American phenomenon. Crossing over from Canada, Sum 41 provided a jolt of refreshing music from Ajax, Ontario. Led by singer Derek Whibley, their achievements helped form a new wave of Canadian pop punk, along with bands like Simple Plan. Their debut, All Killer No Filler, would see them achieve platinum success in the US and Canada. Songs like the fiery Fat Lip and the equally catchy In Too Deep put a raw spin on pop punk. Following that, their second and third albums continued their commercial streak and made the group one of Canada's most successful bands. With the goodwill of their first decade, Sum 41 prospered with award nominations and an array of new stylistic choices. Number 4. Paramore. We're willing to bet most people have the chorus of at least one Paramore song committed to memory. Songs like Misery Business proved they had all the talent and energy to compete with any of their contemporaries.
I'm in the business of misery, let's take it from the top. She's got a body like an hourglass, ticking like a clock.
Off their second album, Riot, this iconic song was one of several impressive tunes that pushed the album into platinum status. Lead singer Hayley Williams stood out as a versatile talent that could command a band and collaborate with other artists. While the band's lineup changed, the group still grew to further success and earned Grammys in their next decade. Showing that pop punk wasn't merely a guy's genre, Paramore is still one of the most notable female-fronted bands in the genre. Number 3. New Found Glory. Formed in 1997, New Found Glory rose to fame in the 2000s, alongside a host of huge pop-punk talent. Their self-titled debut album made the alternative charts with the track Hit or Miss. Among the foundational and influential groups of the millennium, the band's attitude and subversive energy made them fan favorites in the genre's second surge. Upon the release of their third album, Sticks and Stones, the group went on an acclaimed run with singles like My Friends Over You. While they didn't achieve the same sales numbers as their fellow bands, New Found Glory stuck it out with a prolific and inspiring pop-punk discography. Number 2. Fall Out Boy. Carrying the torch of pop and emo punk, Fall Out Boy made a name for themselves during the genre's peak in the mid-2000s. With music from singer Patrick Stump and lyrics from bassist Pete Wentz, the group garnered adoring fans for their clever and entertaining take on the genre. Their second album, From Under the Cork Tree, achieved double platinum status. Not to be outdone, their third album, Infinity on High, hit the top of the Billboard 200 charts. Between Sugar We're Going Down to Thanks for the Memories, the band were among the most played and commercially viable bands of their day. While they've experimented with their sound since then, Fall Out Boy's accomplishments provided listeners with over a decade of amazing music. Before we unveil our number one pick, here are some honorable mentions. Simple Plan. These Canadians rode the wave of 2000s pop punk with songs like I'm Just a Kid.
Here it goes, I'm just a kid, and life is a nightmare.
4 Year Strong. The creative band landed at the end of the decade with a unique twist on pop punk.
Fix it if it hasn't broken.
The All-American Rejects. Power pop and pop punk collided to create this hit-making rock band.
Oh, you gotta keep it strong, move along like I know you do.
Yellow Card. Hits like Ocean Avenue made Yellow Card a formidable force of pop punk in the 2000s.
If I could find you now, things would get better.
Taking Back Sunday. This edgier pop punk band made a splash with their album Louder Now.
Just wanna break you down so badly. Well, that's about everything you say.
Before we continue, be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. You have the option to be notified for occasional videos or all of them. If you're on your phone, make sure you go into your settings and switch on notifications. Number 1. Blink-182. Few bands had a better Millennium celebration than Blink-182.
All the small things, true care, truth brings.
Singles off their hit 1999 album Enema of the State had charted into the 2000s. At the same time, considerable MTV airplay positioned them as the premier pop punk act for the new decade.
Say it ain't so, I will not go. Turn the lights off, carry me home.
Their next album, Take Off Your Pants and Jacket, furthered their rise with tracks like First Date and The Rock Show.
Let's go, don't wait, this night's almost over.
Always ones to push the envelope, the trio's 2003 untitled fifth album received positive reviews for its darker and mature tone.
Where are you? And I'm so sorry.
Even after Tom DeLonge's departure, members Travis Barker and Mark Hoppus carry on the group's name through a dedicated fan base. After all these years, the legacy of Blink-182 remains the most storied pop punk tale of the 2000s. Do you agree with our picks? Check out this other recent clip from WatchMojo, and be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to be notified about our latest videos.